It's said that managing money and building wealth is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. And if this is true, then it explains why so many of us struggle with managing our finances. I mean, I understand that I'm supposed to spend less than I make, but what steps and actions am I supposed to take that would actually help me develop the right behaviors? Well, if this is you, then you're in for a treat. I have a value packed conversation lined up for you. And today I'm sharing 8 things that you can do to better manage your money. So let's jump right into it without wasting any time. Get clear about your financial goals. One thing my wife and I have learned on this minimalist and financial journey is that you have to take control of your life and your money. And if you don't, then it will quickly spiral out of control with the blink of an eye. And the best way to prevent this or to begin to turn it around is through setting financial goals. So, what are your financial goals? Do you have a plan that's guiding your budget? See, money is just a tool that, when wielded wisely and purposefully, can open up doors of possibility and adventure. But it's crucial that you're clear about your short-term, mid-term, and long-term money goals. Short-term could be things like paying off debts, cash flowing college or grad school. Maybe it's paying for your wedding. Midterm could be things like saving for a down payment on your first home or saving for that international trip you've always dreamt about. And long term is all about investments and retirement. Now, if you haven't broken down your money goals in this way, then I highly encourage you to do so. When you do, it makes taking the necessary actions you need to achieve them so much more fun. Budget with purpose. Budgeting monthly is a must if you want to manage your finances properly, especially if you have short-term, mid-term, and long-term money goals you're looking to accomplish. Now, the purpose piece in this is all about understanding why. But guess what? Because you've already highlighted your money goals, you've technically identified your budgeting purpose as well. For example, let's say your short-term goal is to pay off debt. Well, the purpose of your budget is to help you pay off debt. In this case, your why or the purpose of your budget is also your goal. Remember, budgeting is just a tool, but in order for it to work the way it was intended to, you have to use it in a way that serves a purpose. Track your spending. So the way my wife and I do things in our life is we budget first and foremost every month. We'll sit down together at our dining table right behind me, usually the last day of every month, depending on what day of the week it falls on and how that aligns with our schedules. But we'll sit down together and we'll do a few different things. 1, we'll review the prior month's budget to see how we did. 2, we review all of our spending from the prior month. And 3, we make adjustments if needed and write out our budget for the next month. Now, why am I suggesting you track all of your spending in addition to budgeting? Well, for us, and I'm speaking as if my wife is sitting here next to me, but we do this because it keeps us honest. Every time we sit down to review our budget, we use our expense log, as we call it, to accurately fill in the actual spend column on our written budget. Now, we track all of our spending within a shared workspace that we created in Notion. We each can access it on our phone or laptop, and we set it up in a way that allows us to use filters and different views because Notion has this really cool database feature. But if you'd like for me to walk you through what that looks like in detail in a future video, comment below and let me know. Now, we like doing this because, like I said, it keeps us honest. If we overspend in a specific category on our budget, then we can quickly filter our expense log and see exactly why we went over budget line by line. This keeps us from having to save receipts or waste time going through bank statements because it's all right there for us in Notion. And because of that, we can then decide if we need to increase our budget next month or pay more attention to our spending habits so that way we don't make purchases that aren't serving a purpose next month. Declutter your expenses. Whenever we discuss minimalism here on this channel, decluttering is usually a part of that conversation for good reason. But we've only ever talked about it in relation to stuff, people, or mental baggage. I've never challenged the way you think about the phrase declutter in relation to money until today. Hence, declutter your expenses. See, if your goal is to live an intentional life, your best life with less, then you're likely going to do everything in your power to remove those thoughts and things from your life that are currently taking you away from that goal or have the potential to, right? So in the context of this conversation, if your goal is to achieve financial independence, wouldn't you do everything in your power to remove those things and activities from your life that are taking your money away from that goal? Think about subscriptions you pay for but don't need or use. Those wants at the grocery store that are adding more to your bill than you realize. What about excessive gifts? Memberships, restaurants, hair and nail care that you could do yourself and save money if you really wanted to. See, I'm not saying that you can't enjoy life and the things that interest you. But if it's not helping you reach your goals, be it financial independence or pay off debt, then I challenge you to be brutally honest with yourself and declutter your expenses. Pay off debt. Here's some interesting food for thought for you. Debt would take you further than you want to go, keep you longer than you want to stay, and cost you more than you want to pay. So if you're at all interested in learning how to manage your money and regain control of your life, then you have to pay off your debt. There's no way around that. Now, my wife and I prioritized this in our lives before we got married, back when we were just dating. At the time, we were talking about marriage and the future we wanted to create for ourselves, but we knew in order to do that, we had to regain control of our finances. So we buckled down, got serious, and made a few sacrifices. And as a result, I was able to pay off $23,000 in 12 months, and my wife paid off $19,000 in 17 months. And we did all of this while we were dating. Now, I'm sharing this with you in hopes that it plants a seed of encouragement and motivation for you to pay off your debts and regain control of your life financially. Build an emergency fund. An emergency fund is money you have saved up for a rainy day. Maybe your car breaks down, there's an issue with your home, medical expenses, or there could be another lockdown due to COVID or some other virus that seriously impacts our society. See, when you have an emergency fund, it ensures you'll be able to cover those expenses in case of an emergency without feeling fearful of the future or turning towards debt. Now, if you're just starting out or you're in the process of paying off debt, then it's best to save up a starter emergency fund of $1,000. So if you don't have that, start there. Save it in a separate savings account or a money market account and don't touch it unless it's an emergency. Once you have that and all of your debt is paid off, now it's time to save up a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. And the same thing applies here. Do not touch it unless it's a serious emergency. If you want me to share more content with you about managing money, saving, and paying off debt, comment below and let me know. Spend with intent. A familiar concept in the minimalist community is to always do things with purpose and intention. And this includes how you spend your money. Now, naturally, you're going to spend your money on things you need: food, shelter, clothing, and transportation. You can also extend this to things you love as well as a few wants. But it's imperative that you don't waste your money on things that have impulse buy written all over them. So ask yourself, am I buying this for me or because I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses? Will this purchase serve a purpose in my life that would generate a positive long-term effect? If I don't buy this, will my experience of life suffer in any way? See, we should always aim to make purposeful decisions that prevent purchases that aren't mindfully made. Invest and give with wisdom. Never put your money into something that you don't understand. If you don't know, learn, either on your own or with an advisor that has the heart of a teacher. See, when you learn how to manage your money properly, amazing things begin to happen in your life financially. You can build wealth, change your family tree, and give like you never gave before. Keep growing, keep learning, and always stay true to you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.